Hello, everyone. We're in our fourth class. Somehow it seems like more than that, and somehow it seems like less than that, and that's always the way it is at the beginning of the long form and in section one. And today, like we have done other days, we are both going to work on a movement and we're going to work on Tai Chi basics, right? So last week we did work on the bow step, and we'll be continuing to work on the bow step throughout section one, and today to some extent. And we're also going to work on our body shape a little bit, and we will continue to work on that in section one. As well as that, we are going to look at that big movement we had last week again, that left ward off, which was so huge, so big, had so many details. We were lifting macaws, we were, I don't think we've been bowling yet, but we'll do some bowling today. And my goal for today is that you feel much more confident. So if you were at like a -1 last week, because you were like, oh my gosh, this is just so bad, I want to get you up to a 3. And if you were at at a 3 last week, I'd like to get you closer to a 5 on whatever scale we're at, whether that ends at 100 or it ends at 10 or it ends at 5. I'd like to get you folks comfortable and familiar. This is a word that Master Yang uses. So not just knowing in your head, but getting enough practice that you can actually do it in your body. So are we good, or you're adjusting? Okay, just checking. All right, so let's start by warming up. So I'd like to start warming up the way we have been fairly recently. I think it works better if I come back here. Let's just start with this first exercise from the wellness exercise that looks like opening. That's opening. But what we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees when we come down. So we're going to go up and down. Remember, you're pushing something down and you're bending your knees. And then we're going to kind of rebound and straighten those knees and come up and push down. Nice. And up and down. I really do find it useful if we think about maybe the waves coming in here. And we've got that floaty cushion, and it goes up, kind of carries our arms up, and then we get to push it down a little faster than the water recedes, right? And up, maybe breathing in and down. And one more, up and down. And we're going to rotate our arms, keep our shoulders down, and let those elbows bend over. And again, we're going to bend those knees a little or a lot, depending on what you want to do. Breathing in, gazing up at the moon. As your hands come by, your gaze goes back to just looking out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more. In, out. Now let's come up and out. Now, we're not going to do the bird today. We're going to do that tree. Remember, like a West Coast tree that shrinks into an East Coast tree? And we'll just stay up. And this has to do with our body shape. So I'm going to turn this way, but you know what we're doing here. Coming in, going out here. You want to glom your inside of your arms just on to the tree. And it's almost as if the tree were growing and shrinking, or maybe it's breathing, right? If it gets to be a real West Coast tree, it's always round, and your shoulders will never go behind your body, right? I mean, behind your arms will never go behind your shoulders. I'll get it right, right? And you can go up and down in this too. So you see when I'm coming, I'm going down here. If you want to, you can. Just a little bit. And notice that my elbows are the lowest part of my arms. Right? So what I've done is I've relaxed those shoulders and I've relaxed those elbows. I'm not really keeping them up. I'm letting them fall. Nice. Looking really good, everybody. Wonderful. All right. So I'd like us to shake out, maybe shake a little bit. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna mute one of us here. There we go. All right. So shaking out. And I want you now to keep your hips where they are. Just keep your hips where they are. Be relaxed. Sit in that bar stool. Remember that? We usually stand like this, but I want you to kind of reach for that bar stool with your lower back. Reach for that bar stool. And then I want you to swing your upper body, your shoulders, but look down and make sure your knees aren't moving. Just glance down a little bit. Make sure that you're not doing this. Do you see this? A lot of people want to do that, but it's not really good for your knees. So we want to keep our knees pointing straight. Always want to keep our knees pointing straight. And can you really swing those arms? Like, can you kind of swing one up and down? And can you do that with your body rather than your arm? See what happens. Like, just do it, like maybe turn and then stop. We'll be getting into more of this in a couple weeks, but it's kind of nice to do that. And again, keeping your knees straight. It looks, from those of you who I can see, it looks like you're doing that great. So thank you. I want to take a moment to talk about our body shape. So in Tai Chi, the first thing to know is everything is big. So when we were being this big tree, even when we got small, we were pretty big, right? We were pretty big. I mean, we weren't like this, right? Now, why do you suppose Tai Chi people aren't like this? Like doing their things, like all the time, really close. Anyone have any ideas about that? Well, if Tai Chi is a martial art and you're connecting with people or doing your things, you know, really, really close, you are really, really close to them and you don't have as much room. So this is one reason. Now, yes, and if you make it bigger, you can always make it smaller. But if you always make it small, always make it small, your body won't really know how to make it big. So in Yang Family Tai Chi especially, we make things we make things large. And so our body shape is very large. In our body shape, you know, we were doing this earlier. We've talked a lot about prepare, but I want to talk about this upper body shape here. Our body shape. I want you to notice some things. Do you notice how my arms are bent in a curve in this position? And how about if I push down? You folks push down too. Push down, like that push, Nice. Now take your push down and bring it up. In fact, think about pushing out. Look at that. It's the same. Do you see this curve? Now, if you were pushing with your hands and you went all straight, do you think you'd still be pushing at the end? Would it feel like a push? Or is there a place where when you're pushing out, you feel like that's sort of the end of where you could control your push, even this way? So you find that end. And whenever you find that end of where you can kind of still control the floaty or still be pushing, when you're all completely extended, you're not able to transmit energy anymore. So we're almost always curved. Almost always curved. And in our body shape, the top part of us always tends to have a curve this way. And if we have two arms going, and the bottom one is curved this way. All right. So I want to do, yeah. So the top one is kind of like here. This is how I do this. Put your hands like you had suspenders. Yeah, like you had suspenders. Or if you're not wearing suspenders, you might be wearing something else that you could do the same thing with, right? Aha, I see some smiles, right? So yeah, you could grab those suspenders and, you know, pop your suspenders or whatever, right? This is actually a position we will have later. It's like preparing for a strike, right? But if you look at the arm, look at this arm. This arm, this arm, you just tilt it a little bit and it's a strike. Hey, interesting. This way it's a push. It's always bent. It's always bent. Guess what? It's the same arm. And what is it? It's a big arm, right? Now, you've also seen us do this, right? Look at those beautiful Tai Chi hands. So we can be here holding a bag of apples. We can come up and come down. These are all Tai Chi positions. Yeah. We can even nice. Let's see. I'm just bending and coming out. But look at that. Now that's more of a bend. It's still bent, right? It's still bent. I'm still very circular. So sometimes we change from this kind of position to this kind of position. And when we do, we say we're seating our hands, like the hand is kind of sitting up. Okay, so when something sits, so you may hear me use that word. So,
Dee Dee,
yes.
does your elbow ever go inside of your arm? I mean, yeah.
If it does, it's not very, you mean like you'd be like this? Okay, so if you do this, you're torquing your shoulder. So normally, I mean, your arm, your whole arm can. And you can turn, right? You can turn, but if you turn, it's normally here. It's normally, and often it's here. So you'll also find that our body shape often has our upper arms out here. Okay, so just some aspects of body shape. I want to go into one more for everybody. All right, so we rotate our arms. So if everybody wants to put an arm up, it does not, I know I have my right arm on, but you can high five me anyway if you want, or you can put your right arm up, I don't care, right? Whatever you want to do. So you can just kind of high five me and then rotate your arm. Oh, this is great. We actually have all sorts of folks who can do it reversed. But anyway, we could rotate, and then I want you to think you just grabbed something, like grab something and pull it down. Right. We're going to be doing this next week. We're going to rotate and grab and pull. Right. Rotate, grab, and pull. So another thing we do, we also did this rotation. But do you see that our bodies are always extended and they curve? Now, there is one thing, there's one place, every once in a while, there's a couple places, every once in a while, you get almost straight. And one of them is in left ward off. Remember, we had that kind of straight arm out. Now, it still curves a little. It still curves around, that left arm still curves a little, right? But it's not curving this much, but it's not this straight. It's never this straight. We call this Tai Chi straight, right? So when we say make your arm straight in Tai Chi, that's what we mean. Okay, so this is just a little introduction. We'll probably come up with some other things and we'll be adding to your toolkit. But when in doubt, you're kind of like the Michelin Man, if you remember that from a long time ago. It was like this character that was created as part of the logo for a while of the Michelin Tire Company. It was made out of tires, you know, and it was very big and roly-poly. So you want to have that kind of roly-poly feel, and you want to feel like your whole body needs to expand. And we'll be talking more about that. You want to feel connected, like your arms are connected across the back. We've done some exercises for that. So I wanted to just go into that a little bit today. The next thing I wanted to go into was basically, let's go play with that bow step just a little bit more. So let's do, why don't you follow me a little bit? So we're going to get in our prepare. Remember, our feet are shoulder width apart. Our arms are hanging at our sides. They are extended. Our fingers are extended just gently. Head lifting up. But it's more like you're not pushing it up. It's more like you had a vacuum above it. You should feel also the weight from your body on both feet equally and on your whole feet equally. So if you want to, be very careful now, don't lose your balance. But if you want to, you could move it a little into your heels. And you could move it a little into the ball of your foot. But in general, you want to find that right spot where you have it pretty much on your whole foot. So there you go. And why don't we actually do our opening rotating our arms. They come up to shoulder height. We're not going to bend our knees. We're going to push down. Pushing down. Great. So now you have this push down feeling. So what I want to do now is I want to shift a little to the left and just turn out. Can we do that? Shift, swing. So what are we swinging here? What are we swinging here? We're swinging our hips. And as we do you see how my right arm kind of bounces a little when I stop? Now, we wouldn't see that bounce if we did it slowly. But if we do it fast, you definitely see that, right? Because you're turning your very center of you, right? If you turn the center, the rest of you goes. And that we call a swing out, right? You're going to swing out. Now, I want you to look down as you do that. I want you to look down, and I want you to just look carefully now as you look down. Make sure your left knee is staying straight when you do this. Even if you kind of bounced it a little and turned fast, I want you to really stand on that left knee a little bit. You're not going to shift completely onto your left knee because you've got your heel that you're pivoting on. Okay, so and practice that. We might as well practice it on the other side too, just a little bit. Right? See if you can do that. And there's something else when we actually do this particular movement. We are going to just be aware of our wrists a little bit and not let our fingers go way out this direction when they swing. We're going to have them be a little more straight towards what I call 12 o'clock here. Okay, so a little more straight when we do that. So same thing on the other side. We don't want our fingers going that far over on this direction. We just want a little bit of awareness in them, because what's about to happen, what do you remember from last week? We shifted our weight over. So all of it was on our right foot. Now, when we did stuff with our hands, but for right now, and you might as well keep your hands down for the moment. I want you to just do that and then come back. And turn out, shift. Shift completely, Tai Chi pull up, and be able to move. In fact, you could put your foot out, right? So practice that. If that's real easy for you, you can always make it a little harder by just bending your knee more. Then you'll work your thigh, right? So it all depends. If it's hard for you, then just shift over and get yourself firm, lift up, and then just unfold however you want to unfold. All right? Always be safe with your balance. What are those hands doing? Do you remember? We swung out, we shifted over, and as we swung back, remember that? We swung back. So it was like this. Swing out, all of our weight to the right, swing back. Press a button. You know, you're ready to press a button when that swing. And look at that left arm. It's that nice bent Tai Chi arm, palm back. Now we unfold and step. And you can just let your hands be wherever they want to be now. They'll probably be good here. I want to actually work on, step here. I want to actually work on this turn with you folks. Okay? So I want you to shift your weight, shift your Tai Chi pole. Remember that Tai Chi pole? It's going straight through you. It's your spine into the middle as you go heel, ball, toe. And then stay in the middle between your two railroad tracks as you just bend your knee and finish your turn to the corner. So you're going to turn to the corner. So let's do that again. We're going to be here. We're going to shift. We might as well put our hands here since we're practicing that. Shift a little bit to the left and turn out. Then all of our weight to the right, right hand up, left hand palm back, and all of our weight needs to get there. Then we unfold. We are going to do something with our hands, but we're not going to do it right now. Then heel, ball, toe, as we do, move that Tai Chi pole to the center, and you're also turning. But don't put your Tai Chi pole all the way over your left foot. Look down at your left foot. This is where we're going to check ourselves. Make sure that your knee is in line with your toe, and it's going that way. Okay? It's going that way. And it's not over your toe. It's not, your weight is only about 60% forward. In fact, let's push back a little bit. Just push back a little from this position and bend your right knee a little bit. And come to that center point between you. And then go forward. So find the point at which you are earthquakey, right? Which you're kind of earthquakey. You can have both feet down. And look at where your both knees are a little bent. Then I want you to straighten the back leg and bend the front leg, keeping it in line, but making sure that you stayed in the center. And one of the ways you do that is you just pay attention to that. Keep yourself from going too far, right? Now, what I want you to do is take your left hand. We're going to do kind of the end of this move, and then we'll get in the middle, right? Once you take this hand, and I want you to actually turn your torso as far as you can without it hurting you. Like, you see, you can turn it a lot. And so if you haven't, make sure that you're and you also want to be straight up and down. I'm going to show you in a minute from another direction. But I want you to take this hand and I want you to just bowl with it. Bowl with it over into this direction. Okay, so bowl, right? So it's going to come up and it's going to point this way, and it's going to be slightly tipped, so that the top of it up here is tipped, right? Let's try just that again, and we won't have the middle. So we're here, shift a tiny bit left, and then swing out to the right, and our foot's going 45 degrees. Not much weight on it yet. Then all of our weight goes over as we swing back. You see? I swing back with my hips. Then I come, all my weight's there. I unfold and step out, shoulder width apart. Then we'll show this in a minute. I'm going to heel, ball, toe, do some magic with my hands. And as I do, my hips really turn out. And as I do, I bowl. Okay? Eventually, my arm's going to be in a slightly different position, but the end of the bowling is going to be right there. Okay? And my right hand is going to come down and push down at my side. So this arm wants to really be pretty straight. Not like this, but like this. It's almost never that straight in Tai Chi. We're used to doing this. You've done other Tai Chi, right? But what we're doing here is we catch somebody's arm. We catch somebody's arm, and then we turn. We catch their arm here, and then we pull it down, and we push down here, and we lift up here, and their arm is stuck in between the rock and the hard place, right? Between our push and our lift. And the lifting arm is the ward-off arm, right? So that is what we are doing. Let's get this middle. I want to give us some experience. Again, this is a skill. We do this a lot in Tai Chi. I told you earlier, right? I'm going to take this off for a minute. So let's put our upper arm in this position. So if we're like this, right? How about we take we'll do it on both sides, but let's rotate this arm and just bring it down and just bend that elbow in. Nice. And you see, I'm not like this, I'm like this. Nice, nice, very nice. All right. Now, I want you to actually, just for now, imagine a big blob in front of you. A big blob. Here's the blob. Do you see it? I don't know if you know some science fiction thing you like. This is a wonderful blob. It's like an oval, and it's floating right in front of you. It's floating right in front of you. Nice. Okay, and it feels really good. So I want you to rub your hands on it. In fact, it's wet. It's wet. Okay, nice, nice. It's very wet. Every time you go across the top, I want you to scrape off some of the water. And on the bottom, I want you to sort of caress with your whole arm that blob, okay? And then you're going to come back. You're going to come back and around and push the water off the other. So whenever you come up to the top, you're just going to push the water off. And other than that, for right now, I just want you to be enjoying the feel of this floating wet ball. It's not a ball, really. It's like a ovoid. Nice. Every time you get towards that shoulder, you are pushing that water off with the heel of your hand. Okay? Push it off with the heel. Nice. Very good. Yeah, very nice. All right, so we have this kind of thing going on in this move. So what we do here is we were here, we started like this, and then we pushed a button, right? And then we come across like this. So we do the end of that. Sometimes we'll actually circle our arms. We do the end of that. So if you stand and you turn so that like your camera is right here and you look that way and you look over your shoulder at me, then you'll be able to match your hands with mine. All right, so we can try that, see how that works for you. So we're here. We're going to just looking at the arms now, but I'm going to do the legs too a little bit. We swing those arms, right? Swing those arms. Swing those arms. And again, you could just look over your shoulder if you're facing the same way, or you can do it the other way. Then I shift my weight to the right. And as I do, my right hand comes up when it's there and my left arm goes down. Nice, nice. Then close, step. And see, so this is called closing. Our left hand is under our right elbow, but some distance away, as you can see. And we have scraped that water off the top of that ovoid, but it's there. It's sort of keeping it away from our body a little bit. And my heel has touched the ground, but most of my weight is still on my back foot. Now, I'm going to imagine that right down here, there's a big, very big bird. And you folks have seen the picture of that. And I'm going to lift that bird up and do that kind of bowling move. And I'm going to turn my whole body. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to pet this bird from the top of its head. It's perched right here, top of its head. And I am going to turn as I bring my arm all the way down to its tail. Now, you can't really see that. You see, there's my hand. It's there. But you can see this arm. It's like that bowling arm. And it's actually quite straight. I'm going to show it to you from here, but it will be reversed for you. This is my right arm. I'm going to turn, swing out, swing back, push a button. I'm going to close my arms and step. This happens all the time in Tai Chi. But where's my weight? Still back. Then I'm going to turn my body and my hips and move forward. And this is where it gets really hard. Stroke that bird, lift the bird up, extend my arm, and stroke that bird. So I'm going to show it to you from here, different way, but you'll see the end of it. We're going to shift a little bit to the left and then swing out. Swing back and move our weight. We've got our weight there. Unfold, that's our step, and let this hand and this hand cross. I sometimes call that switch. Switch where you are, from the right side to the left, from the left to the right. Then you're going to move forward and turn to the corner. And you're going to extend that right arm and push down. Extend that left arm and push down with your right. So those are the basics of it. Now what we need is lots of questions, answers, and practice, right? So it gets comfortable. So which part of this is the most complicated or the most difficult for you?
I have a question, Didi.
Yes.
The part that I'm having a hard time with is actually seeing how the whole thing goes together. It's not any individual part. And I'm wondering both, would you show it without talking it through?
Sure.
And how fast, like how much of the speed that we're going at is normal and it just normally that slow and you have time to talk it through, and how much are we slowing down because you're talking it through?
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you, because I am spending a lot of time explaining it, and frankly, it is harder when you have to keep stopping all the time, right? Okay, I'm going to actually show it to you from sort of every possible angle here. This is left ward off. This is left ward off. The swing, the button, the close step, the lifting the bird with its tail. Shift, swing out, swing back, switch step, raise that bird. The actual speed, I'm doing it a little faster than I would normally. The actual speed would probably be like this. So little tiny shift left, turn out, all our weight to the right, close, step, raise the bird. So that's what we're aiming for. So let's just do the footwork for a minute. We can, in fact, do it from different angles if you want. Let's do the footwork from here. So we're going to shift a little left, come out to the right, all of our weight to the right, unfold, heel, ball, toe, turn. And it's a big turn. You should be absolutely straight up and down. If you make a big enough turn, your hip will want to go there. This is the earthquake position. When all of us went into the earthquake position, we were vertical. I know you can all do it. So that's what that is. And now we'll add the arms to it and see how that goes. So we are here and we shift to the left and turn out. All our weight to the right, push a button and close step and raise that bird and stroke its tail. So then from here, the footwork, we're going to shift a little left, turn out right, all of our weight. Oh, maybe this is what we did before. Yeah, here. That's what we did before. Let's do it from here. Shift left, turn out right, all of our weight right, and unfold. Heel, ball, toe, turn to the corner, be straight up and down. Seeing if we can add the arms. Shifting left, swinging out right, all of our weight to the right, press a button. Close step. Bring that bird up and stroke its tail. From here, shift left, swing out right, all of our weight to the right, and close step. Lift that bird. We're going to look sort of where we're bowling, down the bowling alley. It's not Doesn't really feel like bowling, but if you do that, you'll know what direction you're going. From here, concentrating on the footwork, shift left, turn right, all of our weight right, unfold, heel, ball, toe, turn to the corner, gaze goes all the way to the side. Adding the arms. Our arms are down, shift left, turn right, all of our weight to the right, press a button. Close our arms in step. Heel, ball, toe. And turn, raise that bird. All right, so more questions. Where's the hard part here?
The hard part is doing it that slowly.
Okay, I get that. All right. Shall we speed it up? That sometimes helps.
I don't mind the work of trying to do it slow. I kept thinking when you were talking it through that eventually we were supposed to do it fast, but it sounds like eventually we're still supposed to do it slow. And
we are. It is harder. It is harder, but good analysis, great analysis. And sometimes it is easier if you do the movements a little faster, like we were doing the swing, right? Earlier. So we'll try that. From here, we're going to swing out, swing back, go over. Let's just do that much. Swing out, swing back, press a button, all our weight's on the right. That button press looks here. So it's sort of a little out from your shoulder, so don't put it here. It's here. It comes from this. If once you're advanced in Tai Chi, these closes look a little different. And there's this push a button shape that just sort of happens right before you close your arms, okay? So eventually it will look like this. But for now, it kind of helps to have you go around a ball in front of you. I mean, a blob in front of you, like an ovoid blob. All right, so from here, shift out, shift up, press the button. We'll try to do it a little faster even. Out, up. And you're swinging. Swing it up. Now your weight's on the right side, and it's step close. It's step close. Step close, turn. Does that make it easier or harder, Tom?
To me, it was easier to go faster.
Okay. All right.
But it's more challenging to go slowly.
But if you learn it fast, then you can develop the skill to go slow. So when I teach brush, knee, and push, for example, which is this movement, I have people throw balls first. Because we all know how to throw a ball, right? Or many of us know how to throw a ball. And what you're doing there is throwing a strike. So bringing that body awareness in helps a lot. So I completely get it's easier to do it fast and then know it and then slow it down and see what you're doing and see if it's right or not. Let's do it again. we'll do it from here. From here. We're shifting left, turning out, all our weight to the right, closing, stepping, and raising that bird. Nice. Again, shifting left, turning out, all right, close step, and stroke that tail. Don't forget. So what we'll do is we'll do it slow and we'll do it fast. So here we are, doing it fast. Shift, swing, swing back, close step, raise your bird. A little slower. Swing out, shift weight, press the button, close step, raise your bird, look. Everything ends at the same time. You're finishing this up here, you're getting your arm down here, you're pointing, all of this finishes and your gaze all finishes at the same moment. So let's do it fast again. Left, swing, swing back, press, close, and raise that bird. Now we're going to do it slower, really slow. Turning out, swinging back, press that button. It's a little more of a shift here as you step and turn to the right. So actually, I'm going to change what I said earlier because we're kind of taught to teach it the other way. But if you're finding yourself doing this, you're doing it right. As we come out, we swing and we get most of our weight over here, but your left foot is still got a little on it. As your arms are closing like this, there comes a point where they are at the center. You're going to appreciate this, Tom, because you like to be scientific. When they are at the center, the only thing that's not at the center is your foot. You better be really light, right? And at that point, then you can do it. So in the actual way that, for example, I do it, we come out, we shift our weight, and then when you do it fast, your arms are coming in and they help you move more weight over your foot. Does that make sense? And then, so that's an option if you want to do it. But the way we teach it is shift left, turn to the right, all of your weight to the right. So you can pick this foot up, unfold, and close, and then turn, one up, one down. When you're turned, you are open to the corner. Swing up, all your weight is to that right. You step. Now, you are turning your torso as you heel ball toe with your left foot. You are swinging your hips to the corner as well, and actually a little further than corner. And that's what helps you stay earthquake vertical. Most of our bow steps won't be vertical, but they're 3 times in the long form when they are. And one other tip here, we were stroking in part, don't forget that. So don't push down like this or push like this. you want to imagine that you're really stroking and still holding on to that big long tail with your right hand. That way, your tiger's mouth, this is your tiger's mouth, will actually be pointing towards your middle forearm. And you won't be like this. See, that wouldn't, you want to be a little bit like that. Just a technical. Yeah, nice, Tom. Nice. Lovely. Let's do everything we know. Oh, did we get at least a point on whatever scale you were on? Yes. Did you go up at least a point somewhere? All right. Let's and that was good feedback, Tom. I want to make sure it works for you all. Let us do everything we know, and let's start from here. So prepare. What's your list for prepare? We've done this for 3 other weeks. That vacuum above your head, sitting in that bar stool, weight evenly distributed on your feet. Those fingers hanging down, those arms long, and then those arms rotating, coming up to shoulder height, and maybe a little wave at the top and pushing down. Left ward off. Turn out to the right. All of our weight to the right. Close step. Left ward off. Raise that bird. Let's do it from this direction. So if we, again, look over our right shoulder at our screen. Prepare. Don't forget to sit in that bar stool. Opening. Upper arms. Middle arms, lower arms as you push. Little shift to the left, swinging out to the right. All of our weight right, press the button and close step. Big turn. Raise that bird. Any last questions? All right, well, we will be doing this every time, just like we're doing prepare and opening every time. And next week, we will go on to right ward off. And right ward off is easier, except for one thing. And that's that it does some of the stuff that we practiced earlier. And one other thing it does is, after all this time, when you have been like unfolding that left foot like this, we're actually going to do something where we bring the foot into what I will call neutral and then go back out again. And you will have a real tendency to do this. Warning you right now, Gail's going, yeah, that's my tendency, all right? You will have a real tendency to do that, which is okay. So you've got practice going where you need to go, and you just haven't gone diagonally there. And you'll be bringing your foot in and taking it out. Those are really the hard parts of this. So of the next move. So I think it's going to be easier. I am hopeful. It has another big turn. These first 2 movements are big. All right. Sorry, I think I went a little over time today. We started a little late. Thanks, everyone. Good work.